the African empire that shook Rome, the Kingdom of Kush. They called it Nubia, but Rome called it fear. Long before Europe rose, before Caesar dreamed of empire, there was a kingdom carved from gold, stone, and fire, a civilization the world forgot to remember. This is the story of the Kingdom of Kush, the African empire that defied the greatest power on earth. Before we dive deeper into this story, subscribe to The Hidden Voice, where Africa's lost empires rise again through sound and truth. Long before Rome or Greece built their marble temples, the Nile River flowed south into a land of black stone, gold mines, and sacred mountains. That land was Kush. The people of Kush were not merely neighbors to Egypt. They were its teachers, its rivals, and sometimes its rulers. They built pyramids smaller but steeper, not for show, but for spirit. They honored gods older than the sands themselves. And when Egypt began to crumble, Kush rose like the dawn, taking back the knowledge that was always theirs. In the city of Napata, kings were crowned by priests who whispered in the language of eternity. Their queens, the Kandakis, were warriors and diplomats who ruled beside and often above their kings. This was not a copy of Egypt. This was Africa, teaching the world how to build forever. Centuries passed, empires rose and fell, and from across the sea came new conquerors, the armies of Rome. After they conquered Egypt, they looked south, toward Kush. To them, it was a land of black gold, elephants, and warriors, a prize to be taken. But Rome's pride would meet Africa's fire. In 24 BCE, the Roman governor of Egypt sent his legions south, expecting easy victory. They reached the Kushite city of Napata and burned it to the ground. They thought the war was over. They were wrong. From the ashes rose a woman whose name Rome would never forget, Queen Amanirenas, the one-eyed queen of Kush. She gathered her armies, archers, riders, and warriors painted in gold dust, and marched north toward Egypt. They stormed Roman forts, captured cities, and even took statues of Emperor Augustus, cutting off their heads and burying them beneath temple doorways. So every time they entered to pray, they would trample Rome's pride beneath their feet. For 3 years, Rome and Kush clashed. But in the end, Rome could not break her. They sent ambassadors, not soldiers. And when peace was signed, it was on equal ground. Kush, the African kingdom, had forced Rome to respect it. But the story of Kush didn't begin with Amanirenas. Long before Rome, Kush had already ruled Egypt itself. For a time, Africa wore the double crown. When the 25th dynasty, the Black Pharaohs, reunited Egypt under Kushite rule. They restored temples, revived learning, and brought back balance to the land. The world forgot their names, Pa, Taharqa, Shabaka, but the stones remember. They left their mark on pyramids and temples from Napata to Thebes, writing a truth no historian could erase. Africa once ruled the Nile, and the world feared its light. But like all empires, Kush began to fade. Trade routes shifted, deserts spread. New powers rose in the north. By the time Rome itself fell, Kush had already become legend, its pyramids buried under time, its queens remembered only in whispers. But history has a strange way of returning. When archaeologists uncovered the ruins of Meroe, they found iron furnaces, temples, and pyramids that proved Africa had mastered technology while much of Europe still lived in shadow. The Kingdom of Kush, the African empire that shook Rome, defied time, and proved that greatness was never borrowed from the West. It was born in the heart of Africa. You've been listening to The Hidden Voice, where Africa's forgotten empires speak again. If her story moved you, subscribe, share, and let the world remember who truly built history.